Hello, I am Selim. I graduated in 2024 from computer science and engineering. I've been abroad two times, once to South Korea, Hanyang University, Eureka campus in South Korea, and then the other one to State University of New York at Oswego in the United States. I already loved traveling and seeing different cultures, and I wanted to experience that for an extended period of time. So that was my main motivation for applying to exchange programs. My academic experiences varied a lot between my home institution and even between the two exchange programs that I've been in. Both Korea and the US has their own style, while our university, Sabancı University, has their own teaching style and learning methods. It was a really good experience for me. While in Korea, they relied heavily on the exams. In the US, they relied on regular attendance to the classes and mostly homeworks. So I was able to see the major contrasts between two different learning and teaching methods. I was able to find interesting and challenging courses in both of the exchange programs that I did. My major is computer science. So in Korea, I took a course of network security, which was very beneficial for me. It was very hands-on and it taught me great things in the field of network security. And in the US, I took a course of image processing, again related to my major. And again, that course was really useful and beneficial for me. We did a project, a real life project, that it taught me great things. And although they were challenging, they were extremely. So obviously, there was no language barrier in the US. The English is the native language there. But in South Korea, there was definitely a huge language barrier. Almost no one in the public, or mostly in the university as well, didn't really speak English enough, or not at all. So that was a little hard to manage, to find someone who spoke English. But again, it was the same for all other exchange students as well. So we solved our problems and overcame the language barrier issue, basically together and trying and using Translate House. So in South Korea, the people are much more isolated and it's hard to befriend people. But in the US, it's actually exactly the opposite. The people are so friendly and so open to communication. They come to you while on a bus, on a train, on a queue, on the cafeteria, and then talk to you. In both of my experiences, both in South Korea and the US, the making friends with international students were much easier because almost everyone is alone and by themselves. So people tend to be more open and communicative. In terms of making local friends, it's not as easy as making international friends, but there are some locals that are interested in making international friends. So I cannot say it's that big of a challenge to make friends. It definitely had a great impact on my personal development. I was able to see how other people see the world, and it basically broadened my horizon on every aspect of life. And I have made some very valuable friendships as well. I did travel to other countries. In my exchange in South Korea, I traveled to Japan as well as some other big cities in South Korea, namely Busan. And in the US, I traveled to many of the other states and cities, including Boston, New York City, Washington, D.C., and Niagara Falls, the most mentionable, the most important ones. Basically, all of them was great and really valuable and important to see, but probably Boston was my favorite. In both of the countries, in South Korea and in the United States, I stayed at the dormitory provided by the school, and it definitely affected my experience positively. The campus experience was great. The dormitory in both of the schools, the dormitories were located within the campus, and we were able to connect with the other international as well as the local students. So it definitely had a really positive impact on my exchange. So my family covered the financial costs of studying abroad. But to be honest, studying in Korea was really cheap. The dormitory prices, the food, the transportation, everything, it's actually quite cheap. It's even cheaper than a lot more of the European countries. On the other hand, however, the costs in the US are pretty high, to begin with the insurance and dormitory and even the food and everything. But I knew all of that beforehand via the resources available to us by the international ratios of this. So I was prepared for that, and there were mostly no unexpected costs. Before going to South Korea, I was really biased towards certain food, especially Asian food, and even in our local cuisine, like some food with any ingredients that I didn't like. And after South Korea, I overcome this bias, and right now I can basically eat anything as long as it's healthy and delicious. I definitely recommend going on exchange or to Erasmus at least for one semester to everyone. It's a unique experience that provides you with a lot of valuable experiences. I met a lot of friends that I'm still friends with, and I still talk to them almost every day. And on top of that, I was able to see so many other cultures and the new places. And as I told before, I was able to broaden my horizon. They should definitely do a proper research beforehand about the courses that they're gonna take and the available courses there for their select term. It definitely had a big influence on my professional life and academic life for sure. Before going to the US, I didn't have any plans to stay there or even going to abroad. But after seeing the US and the education there and the lifestyle there, I now want to continue my studies in the United States with the master's degree.